This is an interesting quote that kind of fits my situation. No matter how far you've traveled in the wrong direction, it's never too late to turn around.
I can take it.
Thank you so much.
Santa Claus is coming. No snow on the ground. There will be snow on the ground, probably. It's about 50 degrees today, folks, in Denver.
Twice. He's going to find out. We're going to find out who's nice. You're a nice guy, man. Merry Christmas to you. Yeah. All right, yeah, brother. Don't forget to be nice and kind to everybody during the holiday seasons. If you see somebody you don't know, say Merry Christmas. Have a happy holiday.
Merry Christmas, brother.
This video is sponsored by Capital One, the new way to bank. I use them. Capital One Cafe is 2 blocks from my downtown Lodo loft right here in the heart of Denver. I'm interrupting myself from the really special place that used to be a commercial. Okay, folks. Dude, there's nobody here but you. I know, but I gotta pretend that there's people here, dude. Anyway, I'm at the Capital One Cafe down the street from my loft. I just had some great conversations with some of the employees here. This is the view. It has much bigger window. I have just a little alley view, and this is only 2 blocks from my apartment. Plus, it's just right around the corner. Plus, they have 50% off on the coffee. I mostly make my coffee at home now to save money, but I'm a big fan of Capital One. Capital One Cafe. And it's right here, 2 blocks from where I live. So, and this is Capital One, your bank space, your bank pace. One of the cool things about this place, I used to see the commercials, but they have these free conference rooms. Now, I don't have my laptop with me, but I have where I can, if I want to, you know, here's the one bad thing about my loft. Dude, why don't you talk in front of the camera? Okay, I will. On TV, when I was in Arizona City watching TV like everybody else, these Capital One commercials would come on. I got stuck in the mud and got towed out. I drove to Flagstaff, did another video, T-called the load in the yard, went into the meeting, essentially knew I was going to be terminated, went home, had to talk to my folks in Sophia, and they called me the next day, and it was real cold as ice. You're done. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to do. End of story. Bye. You know, it was just, no, thank you for the service. No, thank you for all the loads you've run. We're sorry we have to do. No, I'm sorry. No appreciation for your employment. It was like a criminal. I felt like, I said this in another video, I'll wrap up with this. I really felt like
the energy was so dark and no empathy, and it was like being, I feel like I was being convicted of a capital crime, and they were going to say, now 30 minutes later you're going to be executed outside in firing squad. You know, we have a place out where we execute people that go off the road like this, and you're obviously guilty of this, and do you have anything to say before we commence with the execution? That's the way it felt. It was like I was sitting there going, I can't believe this is happening. Madeline didn't even show up. So I still have all this I'm processing, but I'm still moving forward. I've been making videos every day, in the morning, at night, and since I'm not working, and I'm still taking action and doing all the things I need to do.
Okay, I am in the driver lounge in Phoenix Terminal, which is the largest terminal, just before going into my briefing after dropping the load off, T-calling in the yard. I picked the load up in Spokane, Washington, and basically took the route through, Salt Lake City, stopped in Beaver, Utah, which is just south of the Interstate 70 that runs into 15. Why don't we show the people basically what we're talking about? This is the 11 western states, which are my territory, and Spokane, Washington is just in the eastern part of Washington here. This is Seattle, right? And I drove all the way through this area, Boise, which I've done a gazillion times, Salt Lake, and this little line here is the I-70 that goes into Denver. It goes actually all the way across the U.S., I-70, which I've done before a gazillion times, right? But Beaver, Utah is just south, just a few miles. Right here, I stopped at the Flying J, and I did take 2 videos here. One showing that the paper that I was hauling, paper rolls that were 44,000 pounds, right there. That's where I took my 10-hour break. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I also took a video of the outside of the truck, the trailer, not knowing this would be my last load, okay? The micro sleep happened in Arizona, just north of Flagstaff. I took my last break in Flagstaff, and then I drove into Phoenix, which is about a 3-hour drive. And that was my last load I ever ran with night transportation after 9 years and 4 months and 750,000 miles all over. Well, one of the last loads I took actually was Phoenix all the way up to upstate New York to Buffalo, New York. And then my very next load, I went from New Jersey all the way to Seattle. That was back-to-back coast-to-coast runs. That was one of the runs I did before I was fired. Now, after I was fired, my friend Sophia Rashkin drove from Denver, Colorado, where I am right now, where she lived, and drove 400 miles to a place called Mexican Hat, Utah. I drove my Subaru from where I lived in Arizona City, Arizona, about 400 miles to meet up with her. Now, the ironic thing is I drove right through Flagstaff and right through the general area where I had the micro sleep that resulted in me getting terminated. But these 2 videos, I believe I'm going to play them so you can hear it. Listen to Sophia talking to me in the Subaru, reframing the situation. Then I have a second video in the car while we are talking. Sophia Rashkin is awesome. I'll talk more about who she is after these videos.
Here, but there's some sun stuff happening, light stuff, and I got these magnets on my thing where I can put the phone so your hands are free. I got my so you guys have been speaking to me through my video. I want to reframe this with my wonderful soul sister Sophia reminded me, okay, let's be truthful. I love my job. I loved every minute of it up till the last 24 hours. I loved being on. I got paid. It was an endless road trip. I made good money. I saved $37,000 went to Japan. It was very, very positive, but I was supposed to, it served its purpose, and now I'm going on to another new chapter.
Right, and now you still have some money to go on to the next chapter, so your job served you very well.
My job served me, paid this car cash.
Right. Now you still have
It supported me. So I'm sorry, the universe that set up the job, I want to tell you, I have gratitude. I'm not going to complain about what I had.
Well, and that's the only way you could have learned to appreciate this,
Yeah.
because of that life. You had a wonderful life doing that, and you know a lot of places to go, and you traveled the country.
I traveled 1,000,000 miles.
You traveled the country, so you have a lot of experience, you know.
And I got paid for it. They paid for all expenses and everything, and
you got a per diem and
per diem, all the benefits, and I got to go to Japan 5 times.
Yeah, and save a lot of money so that you could have this part of your life now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cancel, sweep it away, any negativity, like, wow, that's how I tied down.
You
No.
cannot let the last little itty bitty part of how things transpire to define
The whole
your last
experience.
12 years of what you loved and enjoyed so much.
Thank you.
Do not let one person rob that experience from you.
Yeah, thank you.
Do not let you don't allow those people to rent space
Thank you.
in your
Thank
head.
you.
So
Yeah, thank you very much.
let me remind you how much you love it.
Thank you.
Loved it, and that was a critical part of your journey to get you here and where you are today.
Do you see why I love Sophia so much? Because she's like a...
Be grateful for that experience.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Up to the last 24 hours, I was loving it.
Still,
and it's okay. It's okay. If without being released, I wouldn't be with her today, traveling and starting a whole nother chapter. So
that's right. It is all about perspective. You can go down.
you can reframe it.
and look at, I'm just gonna go home and sit at home. I'm getting older anyway, and life sucks, and I just or you can get in your vehicle.
Hello, everyone. How are you? This is Doug. I'm in Beaver, Utah. And this paper load that you're looking at right now, I picked up in Spokane, Washington. I've picked up a lot of loads. In fact, I just picked up a load up there just last time I came back to Phoenix. I picked up another load up there. It was short paper, and I took a video of the inside like this. This was about 44,000 pounds of paper rolls, and I'm stopping for the night. I'm on my 10-hour break, and I left about 2 o'clock in the morning, and now it's currently around maybe 1600, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or somewhere in that range. And I have kind of a tight schedule. I wish I had a big window on this, but I have to deliver this in Phoenix by 1400 or 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so it's gonna be a little tight. I'm gonna be going down 15 across on the 20 to the 89, and then ultimately down through Flagstaff and the 17 into Phoenix, and that Phoenix is where I'm based. So you can see 2,139 pounds for each paper roll, somewhere around that, about 2,000 pounds. The last paper load I had, they were about 1,700, and I have the strap down. I came back here to see if the straps are, I put the strap on here to see how tight it is. And this particular load, I don't have a seal, that's why I was able to walk back here and show you the load. I'm just making sure that it's latched. That's the back of the trailer. I normally don't walk and hold the camera, but I'm gonna, in this case, walk so you can get a sense of how long these trailers are. I'm trying not to shake the camera. I normally would walk a little bit, turn the camera off, walk a little bit, turn the camera off, but I'm just doing it kind of an amateur way. This is the 40 mark that we normally have to have this inside of the 40, especially when we're going into California, but we're not going into California, we're in Utah. And these are what we call the rear tandems. I scaled this because this is heavy, and I think this was around 33,500, and you're allowed 34,000. This is the sliding tandems. The pin is right where it needs to be. This is the skirt. This is a fairly new trailer, so it's nice and everything is in good shape. Lights, tires. I'm slowly walking up to the cab where I'm going to be making my video for the night. This is the landing gear. My friend Brian, when I gave him a little tour, Brian and Sandy, my friends Brian and Sandy, I had him give him a little lessons, had him lower the landing gear. These are the drives, we call them the drives. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 8 and 8, 16 and 2 steers. But this is the drives. This is where the trailer attaches. There's what we call a kingpin right here. This is the 5th wheel. When you back it in, it goes click. Okay. These are the glad hands, red, blue, and electric. They're pretty. It's kind of hard to do this when I'm holding the camera, but I'll try. It's a little stiff. It's a little stiff.